Hello, hello, hello. So we're back with another information video with SAT score. And today we're going to be talking about the top 5 overpowered lines to grind in 2025. So to start this off, of course, we need to talk about the Colombo. And if you've been in WoWs at all, you know what I'm talking about. The Colombo, with ever since the unique upgrade was added to the Colombo, it has been a powerhouse of a battleship. Like chunking for 20k salvos. Doesn't matter how you're angled. You're just getting chunked. Ever since they buffed, because it was two buffs. They first buffed the angles of the rear turrets so that you can be like it's such a heavy angle to get all the guns. It's so strong. When you're able to get those turrets just turn, just like you just have them already pointed forward, and it's like, oh, you just turn a little bit and bam, you got all your guns there, or you turn a little bit the other way and bam, you have all your guns angled that way. So being able to keep all of your guns firing all the time when you're angled in is super strong for any battleship, and for the Colombo sap is also truly devastating. And when they also did the unique upgrade that made its dispersion better, it just added on top of that and made the ship an instant meta ship in clan battles, ranked, and in randoms. It just gave it just that little push that it needed from being a good ship to a god tier ship. And Colombo, ever since then, has been a very strong meta ship, and it's always been a must-have unique upgrade to grind in World of Warships. It also has a very strong exhaust smoke as well, very nice heal and DCP. But yeah, that's the reason, and that's the first of the top 5 lines to grind. Next one is going to be, no surprise, it's going to be another battleship. It is going to be the Libertad line. And yeah, we all know why for this one. Those secondaries are god tier. It's not even just the secondaries. It's the fact that this thing has the acceleration of like a British cruiser, and it has an insane turning radius for how big it is. Because if you think about it, this thing is this thing as long as an incomparable SAT? It's really long.
Um, Let me do a quick check here. It is extremely long.
Because if you think about it, this thing is, I think it's about as long as an incomparable. And how wide is the incomparable's turn angle compared to it?
So, Libertad is just slightly shorter than the incomparable by like 7 meters.
Oh, wow.
And in terms of turning radius, it's 910 meters versus incomparable's 1160. So a
Yeah.
massive difference.
So a 7 meter ship difference, and you get a 200 meter turning radius difference. Yeah, that makes sense. So you get an insane turning radius, which allows you to be very maneuverable. You get an insane acceleration. The secondaries are god tier. Also, with the combat instruction, you can get up to 15 point. Is it 2 or 1? I think it's 15.2 kilometers for the secondaries.
One, but the point
15.1. Okay.
it's 15.1, but the difference doesn't matter.
Okay. And you get a faster secondary reload and extra secondary damage. So these secondaries, the 234s, already hit really hard, and you just add more on top of that. And it makes this ship an insane powerhouse of DPM. And that doesn't include the fact that this ship has 12 guns. So it's already a powerhouse without the guns, and you add the guns on top of it. It just pumps out so much damage. It's insane. Now, the secondaries aren't as strong as the Schlieffens until DPM wise, until you activate the combat instruction. Once the combat instruction is active, then it's stronger than the Schlieffens. That is only when it is. For armor, the Liberta does have a lot of armor. It has a 51 millimeter armor all on the sides and on the deck, which makes it very durable against farming from HE farmers that have below 51 millimeters of pen. So it makes it very durable against the HE farm meta. And the fact that it's such a quick turning vessel as well makes it where it can turn really tight to dodge a lot of battleship AP salvos that are coming into it with that acceleration, which is why we're all very happy that the Libertad is getting a acceleration debuff to where when it's turning, it's harder for it to keep that top speed, which is finally needed. But even with that, the Libertad is such a strong line to go down. The Ipiranga and the Los Andes are very strong on their own. The Los Andes is also getting a secondary debuff as well, which is very much needed. But the Ipiranga is a very meta tier 8 secondary brawler for sure. It can dominate tier 8. Tier 9, Los Andes was pretty much the top secondary ship until they're nerfing it in 14.3. And the Libertad is going to be one of the top secondary ships for sure. It's pretty much tied with the Schlieffen, but it's technically better because it gets that longer secondary range and it's more maneuverable. But yeah, Libertad, extremely strong. Definitely must have in 2025, 100%. So moving on, the next pairing is going to be 2, and it's because they're very similar. So I just kind of paired them together. It's going to be the Goulden and the Utrecht lines in World of Warships. So the play styles, the Goulden is more focused on island camping, more focused on the airdrops and not the guns. With that unique upgrade and the commander, one of the top cruisers in the game. Extremely strong. The airdrops do a lot of damage. God, it's insane how quickly you get the airdrops for the Goulden. It's just, whew. You can easily do 200k damages with those bombs alone. It's just so much damage. And Utrecht is more of just the open water cousin to the Goulden, where you use the airdrops, right? You can still use them. They're harder to aim, so it requires more skill. But you also can use the guns as well. And the guns get a base pen of 32 millimeters, and they have a 4-second reload, which means you're getting fire. You're able to get fires and keep that nice consistent damage from the HE as you're farming these battleships and cruisers at distance. And this ship, the Utrecht, is really small. It's not a big ship, and it has a very tight turning radius. So you're not more trying to throttle juke with this ship. You're more trying to use that really tight turn radius to kind of like slowly turn the dodge salvos. Like you're keeping yourself angled. And also most of the turrets on this thing are 360, which allows you to be able to keep most or all of your guns on target at the same time. So as you're dodging and weaving the ship, you're able to keep those guns firing and just doing damage and just farming and farming and farming. So the Utrecht is more, if you're trying to pick between which one to get, Utrecht is more of the open water farmer cousin to the Goulden, which is better at keeping objectives, holding an area, and trying to push enemies away. Well, the Utrecht is more of like an open water farmer, where you farm more with it or use the drops to kind of just farm damage and do that. But they're both very strong, and the Goulden is, it's one of the top unique upgrades in the game. So I always 100% recommend people getting the unique upgrade for the Goulden. For the next recommendation is going to be the Gdansk. The Gdansk, at first, when it first came out, people somewhat saw the potential of it. People were starting to play it, but over time, people are like, oh, wait a minute, this thing is really, really good. With its quick action radar and the fact that it has a good smoke and a nice engine boost, this thing's a really strong destroyer. Pretty much like, it's like more of like a cap control ship, and also really good at farming and deterring other destroyers. In clan battles, it's been limited just due to how strong it was, with it being paired with a Savea. If you had this and a Surveyor paired, it's legit impossible to get the cap without you just shoving into these ships and pushing them out to be able to grab it. It's these things are truly menaces in the World of Warships scene. You get really good guns with this ship, and the torpedoes are also nice as well, being 10 kilometers and then being really quick. So overall, Gdansk is one of the top overpowered tech tree lines at this point due to that smoke and that quick action radar, and the fact it has also a quick reload as well. Highly recommend it. Love the ship. A lot of fun to play. Now, before we talk about our final recommendation of the overpowered tech tree lines to get, we have two honorable mentions, and both of them are destroyers. Now, the first one is going to be the Regolo, and before anybody says anything, hear me out. The ship was recently buffed with its smoke screen, which made it last longer and get it back quicker, which means that this ship's main meta, which is you farm ships while you're in the smoke, or you fight destroyers while in the smoke, is more viable. It's more possible. Before, the reload was really long for the smoke. Like, it's still long now, but it's not as long as what it was. And the smoke did not last that long at all. And they also gave a buff to the engine boost so that it gets a really nice engine boost for 25%, even longer than it was before. This ship is extremely strong when playing in divisions, or if you have another destroyer with you on that flank, it will spot while you're in the in the smoke farming or helping it destroy the other destroyers. It is incredible how much the sap does damage-wise. You can do, like, I've done 8k chunks to battleships before in this thing. 8, 9k. And you can do, like, 5 or 6k chunks to destroyers as well. It just smashes anything that it fights. It just damage farming machine. And it also has really decent torpedoes with 13.5 kilometers and a 90-second reload. That's not bad for how strong the guns are. It's really, really good. Now, of course, they made the damage lower because they didn't want it to be another Paulo Emilio, because I've experienced Regolos try to rush me in a battleship and try to kill me, and they don't because of saturation. And they're just sitting there, like, trying to figure out how to kill you, and then you kill them. Now, this thing can yellow rush a, like, 75% or below battleship, or a battleship with really bad torpedo protection, or just any cruiser in general. It'll nuke them. But in general, you're focusing on the guns and not the torpedoes. The main point of the guns. The guns are amazing on this ship. Very versatile ship. I think it's going to be a new meta ship coming up just because of how versatile it is with that smoke and the engine boost and the guns. But we'll have to see. The other honorable mention is going to be the Cassard. The Cassard has really been looked down upon just to the fact that there's all these other torpedo boats around. What makes it so good is the fact it gets the really nice special utility torpedoes, the 13.5 kilometers. They do a lot of damage up to 7 kilometers, then they kind of whittle off over time. You also get the really nice guns of the French with a 3.5-second reload. So you get French guns and really nice torpedoes at the same time. It's how would you word SAT, sir, for the Cassard? Because this is your honorable mention.
So, Cassard. Okay, so you have Shimakaze, which specializes in scouting and has probably one of the best, most powerful torpedoes in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one, you have the Holland, which is a pretty fast torpedoes, not hard hitting, but it's easier to hit on other ships.
Mm-hmm.
And also has AA to fend off against EV strikes. The Cassard is kind of, and then you have the YY, which specializes in demolishing any heavy pushes by battleships and cruisers.
Mm-hmm.
Cassard is Cassard doesn't have it has a range, but not as much as like the gearing torp range. It doesn't have smoke. Instead, it relies on the French saturation mechanic to survive fights.
Mm-hmm.
It has guns, but it's not obviously not as good as say Marceau or Kleber. And the base speed is actually quite bad. It only goes 34 knots at base, if I remember
Yep.
correctly.
Yeah, it does. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But but what it does have is just a good combination of everything. So it's a torpedo ship. It's a torpedo boat that actually does a very good job of defending itself against other ships. I would say even better than what Holland tries to do. Because Holland against a destroyer fight, it still takes a lot of damage, even though it tries to heal through it. But the Cassard is able to. The guns are just as good, and the speed and French saturation I think makes it survive better than what the Holland can do.
Mm-hmm.
And with the torpedoes, they actually, sure at max range they don't hit very hard, but if you're able to get closer, those torpedoes will hit extremely hard. We're talking about like almost Shimakaze level of damage. And then the 4x triple tube arrangement allows for a lot of versatility in how you throw your torps. And also, like, you can throw 2 at a time and try to get flooding. You can try to throw all 4 at a island camping ship and just space it out. And that's 13.5, about 13.5 kilometer range is also, I think it's around perfect. Lets you hit ships reliably, but also doesn't have major sacrifices like detection that the other torpedoes have. So when you combine all of that, I think it's a really good destroyer that can both defend itself in a gunfight and yet can absolutely destroy other ships with torpedoes if given a chance.
Yep, for sure. So those were our honorable mentions. Now it's on to the final line we'd be recommending for the overpowered lines, and that is going to be the Vermont. Good old brick gaming a whiles. Good old brick gaming. Now I know some people will play the Vermont and they would run the improved electrical systems. I personally like concealment more, but people can pick. They can pick the concealment instead or the improved electrical. It's kind of more of a personal preference between them, but the unique upgrade isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing. I just prefer the concealment more. But overall, the Vermont is just shots hit, ships get blown up, dev struck. Just so much damage potential from the 12 457s. And of course, you're going to build into how strong the AP is. So when you do that, it just gives you so much damage potential with these guns. You just do so much damage. And that's why they call it brick gaming, because whatever you hit is just going to get bricked. It's just such a strong ship. Very accurate. It has nice armor on it as well. 38 millimeters, 51 on the deck, 30 millimeters on the side, 32s in the front and the back. Okay HP pool, 107,000. Pretty good. Anti-air is also very strong on this ship. You come with the DFA as well, which is very nice. Unfortunately, the downside of this ship is it's not very quick. It is brick gaming. You're not moving around very quickly when you're in this ship. That is the major downside is. So pretty much wherever you position is going to be where you're staying. You're not going to be moving around too much. But other than that, the ship is an amazing staple of just, you want a battleship that can just smash? That's Vermont. It just smash. It's that simple. It's not very complicated. There's almost every time I see a Vermont, somebody gets bricked. All it takes is one salvo, and yeah. The other major downside is with all this bricking power, you do have a long reload. That is the other downside. So it's why we don't recommend this line for beginners. It's more of a, if you've been playing for the gamer a bit or a returning player, then yeah, the Vermont may be a ship you want to try out or check out. But yeah, let us know what you guys think of this video, and if you have your own top 5 overpowered lines to grind in 2025, let us know in the comments down below. But thank y'all for watching, and we will see you all in the next video.